Hey Lance, thanks for participating in this little interview series that I'm doing for
No
Purposefully Clear.
worries.
Would love to know what you were experiencing prior to joining Purposefully Clear. I know that you did my 5-day challenge, Reignite Your Spark. So would love for you to kind of go back to what you were feeling prior to that.
I honestly I don't think I realized how overwhelmed and like disheveled I was until I really started with the 5-day challenge with you and then obviously into Purposefully Clear. But before I was a mess. I was so emotional. I was so insecure, so overwhelmed. Like I remember, crying into Chris's lap, just being like, this can't be it. Like I've just turned 30 and I'm at rock bottom. Like surely there's more to life than this. Yeah. So definitely just so overwhelmed in every aspect.
And did you feel like it was really difficult to take action because of the lack of clarity in your life, that you kind of just felt stuck, like you were stuck in one place and you were like, where do I go?
Yeah, exactly. I felt really stuck and it just everything felt like too much. Like I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what actionable steps I could put in place to feel better. I just felt like, really stuck, stuck.
Yeah, totally. And what is it now that you are feeling after Purposefully Clear? Like, what do you think shifted within you?
I definitely now have the tools within myself to, I guess, recognize when I'm feeling a certain way and not be so critical. I used to just be like, why do I feel like this? Why is that happening? And now I've learned to just accept it and, it's going to pass and just write it out because, life's full of waves. So now I know like what I can come back to if I am feeling that overwhelm again. And it's things that I've been able to implement in my everyday life that just make me feel a lot clearer and not so frazzled.
Would you say that you over prioritized everyone else prior to yourself joining Purposefully Clear? It was like you might have like this much left over at the end of the day for you, but everything else is a priority.
Absolutely. Like I didn't even realize boundaries were a thing. And now it's like, no, I'm not available for that. Growing up, it's like you see your mum do everything for everyone else. So you bring on that, in your life too. And then being a teacher, it's just not a profession where you can put yourself first. And it's almost frowned upon that, personal day here or there to look after yourself. It's almost frowned upon because it's just not, the work that you can do that. So, I've learned to put boundaries in place, whether it's with people or events or even work now. I can just say, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Why would you recommend Purposefully Clear to someone that was overwhelmed or didn't really know how to prioritize in their life, didn't genuinely know how to look after themselves? Why would you recommend it?
I think it's just the support, definitely the support. You go to the gym and you get a personal trainer because you want support to lose weight. Well, why wouldn't you want support to give you the strategies and that you can regularly call on for help with your mind, body and soul? It's not just
it's like losing weight of the brain, right? The heavy rocks that are just like hanging around in there.
Yeah. And it's also having that outsider's perspective that's not biased, so it is support that it's like, oh yeah, that is a possibility, I could do that. And then also having the accountability, someone on your back being like, well, keep bringing it up if you don't take action.
Have you done the thing? 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 Have you meditated? Have you meditated?
Yeah. Which by then it becomes more of a habit of, okay, I know I need to do this because I know I feel better. And then you really embody it. And then it just becomes part of your life.
You nailed it, embodied it. And what I find so amazing about this work is every time I'm in there in the arena teaching with you guys, I'm also reinforcing and reminding myself of how important things are for me to do that I am teaching. So it's an embodiment practice for both of us constantly.
Yeah.
And we all slip up as humans, don't we?
Definitely. And I think also the group aspect of it was so good because you forget things. There's so much coming in that you're like, oh yeah, I haven't done my affirmations in a while. I haven't done mirror work in weeks. Maybe I should get back into that because I know it helped me. And also you've got other cheerleaders around you too. So it's like, well, if they're doing that, I can do it.
Exactly. And it, you know, basically the person that does this thing that's courageous or that feels scary inspires another person to do something courageous that feels scary, and even just sharing something that feels scary, right? And I think that really helps you build that self-trust, which is always my goal with Purposefully Clear. It's like you come into it not trusting yourself, pretty overwhelmed, feeling like you're lacking clarity, and feeling like you've actually got no innate confidence. You kind of there's a lot of shame and guilt associated with your being. And then you come out of Purposefully Clear. You're not 100% a healed person, no one is, but you've built a lot more self-trust, you've got a lot more clarity, and you're able to go, I can do that. Right?
Definitely. And it's almost like, I remember just feeling like a shell of a human. And then by the end, and now moving forward, it's like you've got your light shining through again. It really, I guess it brings you back to who you were before all the conditioning happened and everything that society like drills into you of what you should do and what you shouldn't do. It really brings you back to who you were, I guess.
Agreed. And I mean, I love the saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. And if we reflect back, like this is what Purposefully Clear does as well, I believe, is you reflect back on what your vibe was pre-Purposefully Clear or a couple of years ago. And then you think about your vibe now and it's like, oh, well, of course I would have attracted these kinds of people into my life and this kind of work and these kind of bosses. And because this is the level of I was vibrating at, this is where I thought my worth was. Yeah. And as soon as I started to do the inner work, right, the genuine inner work, I started, like you said, the light started to shine through and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm not available for that. I'm not available for that. Like, no more.
And and you realize that you're worthy for so much more than what you've got. Whether that's, you know, for me, it was work. I realized that it's not aligning with me anymore and that's okay. But before it, it's like, well, this is the rest of my life. I just have to put up with this because you go to uni, you've got a job, you've got, you know, that's just
got
the way
a loan, you've got, you know, you've committed to this. You're a failure if you quit.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that. And so why me? Why did you choose to work with me? What came over you to commit to that?
I remember, like, for the first time I really felt seen, and everything you were saying in that first 5-day challenge, everything resonated with me. And, you know, you've had so many experiences yourself that I could resonate with. And it's not just like, you know, I've tried going to counselors and psychologists and it's just this talk therapy and it's like, okay, I'll see you later. Whereas, you know, you really opened yourself up and let us in to see that you're human as well. You have feelings too. So it made your vulnerability made us feel safe, made me feel safe to really just let it all out. So I think when that 5-day challenge finished, I was like, this is non-negotiable. I have to do this.
Yeah, totally. It's so cool. And I just love the, you know, the leader or the person that's running the group, which is me. I try and do that vulnerability, be that vulnerable, allow that to come through. And then it invites you to do it, which then invites someone else in the group to do it. And before you know it, we've got this trickle-on effect that's going out into the world, just spreading love and light. But literally, because people are just continually being vulnerable because they're like, oh, I don't have to be afraid of this. I'm not judged right now. And I'm not judging me as much anymore.
Yeah. And I get it's something so simple, but you know, it makes you realize that these connections can and do exist. You know, you've got your friendship group where it's like everything's surface level, but through Purposefully Clear, I realize, you know, what I want in my friendships, who I want to be surrounded in, how I want to feel when I'm around these people. And it just really teaches you that you can be vulnerable and it can actually build deeper connections rather than scaring people off, which is what you think might happen.
Totally. And it's really ironic because genuine connection is when we share truths and vulnerabilities about ourselves, right? yet light false connection is when we talk about the weather, or we talk about other people, or events, COVID and all that, right? And then you realize, oh my gosh, I've actually been extremely lonely in so many of my family settings, friendship settings, even in some of our relationships, because we've been too afraid to be soft, to be open, to be vulnerable, because what if I scare people away? But it's like the connection that you were experiencing doesn't get less than that.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't agree more.
Cool. And let's talk a little bit about the investment piece. So what's your views now on actually investing in yourself and paying money for something versus just doing the odd free thing or reading books? Like, you know, what would your take be on that?
I was so, I guess, scared at the start. Like, I've never invested in myself more than a gym membership or some books here and there.
Yep.
So, you know, and it's easy to jump into, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. How could I spend the money on myself? But then it's like, well, no, how can I make it work? And it's almost like, think how you're feeling now. Is that how you want to feel for the rest of your life? Are you honestly happy to wake up every single day feeling like this? And if not, it's like, well, fucking do something about it. And, you know, you're so, and I got to the point where I was like, I'm worthy of spending this money because I've had enough of feeling like this. So yeah, it's like, it's honestly so worth the investment.
Love that. And I love that you are now in another program with me, and I get to just keep being on this journey with you, watching everything unravel.
Yeah.
So lots of gratitude. Thanks, Lance.
No worries.